Hello friend. I want to tell you about the BMW E60 car. BMW 5 Series in 2003 had a big breakthrough. The E60 series model appeared, which surprised everyone with its appearance. At first it aroused skepticism, but after a few years customers were cleaning the showrooms. This lasted until 2010. The BMW 5 has a classic, of course for BMW, design. The engine is placed longitudinally. Behind it the gearbox, which sends torque to the independent rear axle. Light materials were used to build the body, including aluminum and high-strength steel. Its front panel is also made of aluminum. We have the hood and fenders from this material, which will certainly cause problems when assessing the thickness of the paint coat. The front axle uses a double wishbone suspension made of aluminum, while the rear is an independent axle with a large, extended lower wishbone. The X-drive is realized by a transfer case and a multi-plate clutch managing the transfer of power to the front axle. Normally, it is distributed in proportions of 40-60, front, rear. The BMW 5 Series was fitted with a large number of petrol and diesel engines. There were both more and less successful units, including the ill-fated 2.0 DN47 engines. However, petrol engines had the numerical advantage. They started with 4 cylinders and a capacity of 2.0 L and a power of 170 horsepower, through 6-cylinder inline engines with capacities from 2.2 to 3.0 liters and power from 170 to 272 horsepower, and ending with over 300 horsepower V8s. The largest V8 had a capacity of 4.8 L and a power of 367 horsepower. The top version was the BMW M5 with a 10-cylinder engine of 5.0 L and a power of 500 horsepower. Diesels were basically 3, although there were more versions. 2.0D was a 4-cylinder with 163 and 177 hydrogen phosphide. 2.5 DR6 offered 177 hydrogen phosphide, and the 3-liter M57 diesel, unlike the 2-liter, was the best diesel engine, and depending on the version and year, it reaches from 197 HP to 286 HP. Most of the engines were paired with a 6-speed ZF automatic gearbox or a classic manual. Only the M5 was equipped with an SMG automated gearbox. In this video we will be looking at the 3.0-liter petrol, which is not as common as the diesel, but it is the best engine for this model. It is also not talked about much due to its durability, so we will take a closer look at it. Things like corrosion and excessive wear and tear on interior components don't happen in regular use models. Overall, the car is very durable, but if something goes wrong, it's worth having 4-figure sums on hand. Unfortunately, this is the case with younger BMW models. Dynamic drivers should treat the automatic gearbox with caution and care, as it shows the first signs of fatigue after 200 to 250,000 kilometers. The first symptoms of failure are faulty control electronics, which should be replaced in advance. If we drive with a faulty gearbox, it can lead to a more serious failure. Fortunately, they are less common in gearboxes that work with petrol engines. These are really good, but not all of them. Petrol 6-cylinder units have different designations depending on capacity and power. M54 and N52 were used in the described E65. Both are durable and problem-free if we watch the temperature and efficiency of the cooling system. Occasionally, the variator controlling the variable valve timing in the N52 fails, and the self-regulators fail less often. The first symptom of problems with the timing system is clicking and rattling coming from its vicinity. Due to the above, it is worth using the oil recommended by the manufacturer. After the facelift, the N53 unit with direct fuel injection was used. If it is well maintained and the owner occasionally blows it well on the highway, there are no problems with carbon buildup. Unfortunately, unlike older units, installing a gas system is more expensive and can cause other problems that are not present on petrol. Typical, although not at all frequent problems include ignition coil failures. The high-pressure pump can go on strike. The timing in all 6-cylinder petrol engines is on a chain and is basically maintenance-free. The biggest advantage of these engines is the low cost of operation, not counting fuel consumption. Each of the faults is relatively cheap to repair, and it very rarely happens that the engine breaks down while driving. The unlucky ones have problems with the heads, and then it is easiest to replace the entire engine. What else besides the drive system? The suspension tolerates our roads well and provides excellent driving characteristics, but its solid renovation requires considerable expenditure. The shock absorbers alone cost on average twice as much as for an average mid-range car, and the self-leveling suspension installed in the E61 estate is even more expensive. When the air suspension bellows need replacing, the car will stand crooked and will not level out when the rear axle is loaded. It is worth paying attention to this when buying. When repairing the suspension, you need to pay attention to whether your car has the standard or sports suspension that comes with the M package. Individual wishbones on the rear axle are not expensive, but the entire set costs a bit. Unfortunately, only some of the bushes are replaceable, and in most cases the entire wishbones need to be replaced. The same applies to the front axle. In air conditioning, the mounting of the pipes at the heat exchanger often breaks, which forces the service to dismantle the dashboard. In addition, damage to the crankshaft and camshaft position sensors occurs. The operating costs of a petrol engine are high due to fuel consumption, but apart from that they do not cause expensive problems. In diesel engines, however, we have potential costs that can appear at any time. The same applies to automatic transmissions, in which after a greater mileage, electronics, better, or converter, worse, failure may occur. In addition, there are high insurance costs and a high risk of theft if the car looks good. Apparently, BMW drivers are not entitled to discounts when issuing tickets. Operating costs are also often increased by the large size of the wheels, which translates into high prices for tires, especially run-on flat tires. It's worth it, but only if you're looking for a young, well-maintained model. Many people sell E60s because they can't afford to maintain them. There are also people who buy such cars and are devastated at the first failure. That's why it's worth being prepared for high servicing costs, but in the case of petrol engines, the risk of failure is rather low. However, if it occurs in the engine or drive system, a few $100s will fly in the blink of an eye. Thank you for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and rate my video. If you know of any problems with this car that I haven't mentioned, be sure to write about them in the comments.
I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with, and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro.